Generation X, not the best camera, sorry. Here we are again. I just wanted to talk briefly about Tommy. And actually, just quickly as well about Richard Inman. I've just seen him say. He did a video a day ago. And Richard Inman has always been very, I would say, moderate in his opinion, as in, he would always try and make, and I've been very similar to him, always try to make allowances for the police, tries to go for the non-violent approach, is always trying to moderate things, down the middle since I've known him. So he said in a video that I think he did yesterday that, and bear in mind, he's always been the guy to say the opposite from this. He's gone back on himself, and I'm not saying this as a criticism because I'm about to do the same. He's gone back on himself and said, I'm not sure I like this idea of keep saying most police are all right. He said, I don't like the idea that we keep pushing that. Well, he was one of the people that pushed that, so was I. But he's come to the realization that many of you feel that we should have done ages ago, that that's not the case. And I want to echo the same thing. No, most of them aren't all right. There are some good ones in there who want to do the right thing, who can't, but a lot of them aren't as well. And a lot of them know what they're working for. A lot of them agree with what they're working for. So I just thought it was interesting that someone as moderate as Richard would actually make that point, because he's always avoided that. But I think that he's right, and I think that it needs to be said, and by the more moderate people who've tried to not stick up for the police so much, but at least make allowances for them. And it's good to hear them called out by people, because they are complicit. With Tommy, so Tommy's a friend. So one thing with Tommy, if you see this, this is not a call out. This is not a hate video. If anything, this is I love you. This is not I love you video. It's coming from a place of love. But I am gonna say, Tommy made a fucking mistake, big mistake, and he's a fucking idiot. And I know he's not got his head on straight at the moment. I'm so glad they got that footage. I don't want to see him do any more time. I think he's had enough. And the reason I think that he is a fucking idiot in this case, and Tom, again, if you see this, I say this out of love, is because of the fact that before I even joined this movement, before any of you had heard of me, I studied a lot of things, including Tommy, with great detail every single day. Instead of recording videos, I was studying. I watched every single bit of footage I could find on Tommy. I wanted to be sure if I was going to back him, I was backing someone who was really telling me the truth. I didn't want to find out he was everything that they said that he was on the mainstream media. So I did my own, which meant I watched every video. And I saw how many times he got randomly punched, hit, attacked, spat at, milkshakes thrown on him. I've seen every video. None of those people got done for it. None of them. None of those people got done. In fact, in some of those cases, as you know, Tommy got done for a crime whenever he's responded. And I remember he got in trouble at a football match because someone was acting like a twat there. And Tommy believes that he has a right to go to a football match and to walk the streets like a regular person. He believes that he has that right, and that shouldn't be taken away. I agree with him. But the facts are, Tom, that you're not a regular person. You can't walk the streets like a regular person. What you have is a mixture of fame, infamy, and renown. When I've been around you, people are genuinely nice. Everybody wants a picture. Everybody wants a photo. Even if you weren't the things that the media say you are, somebody would want to hurt you anyway, just for being famous. You're kind of famous. When you're around Tommy, Everybody's asking for a selfie. Everybody's shaking his hand wherever he goes. However, these people may talk elsewhere, when they actually meet him, they couldn't be nicer. So generally, it's all right. But that means, though, Tommy is a figurehead. And this movement very much depends on that figurehead at the moment. As much as I hate to admit it, because I like to think that we can all be independent and do this, the fact of it is, Tommy's a massive driver, and it seems that the productivity of this movement diminishes when he's not around. So it stands to reason, especially with his work in later years, where he's now exposed their dirty little secret, that anybody that takes him out, the worst they're going to get is being Pat Garretted. The worst they're going to get is becoming Pat Garrett. The best they might get could be hero status to a lot of people around the world. There's so many reasons why someone would want to attack him. Some of them are not even politically motivated. Some of them are just for renown. Just for there's too many reasons. And I've seen so much video footage of Tommy being attacked. And he's had Osman warnings, and he knows the score. And I think the reason I'm not pissed off at him, I am pissed off at him because what makes you worry about him as a friend. But I'm not pissed off at him long term. I was just pissed off in the moment, just like, what the fuck, because it's a moment like that where he's going to be killed. And here's the thing: when you're working with him, whatever else, he'll tell you if anything like that happens, not to get involved. He doesn't want anybody to get injured because of him or on his behalf. And I appreciate it and I admire it, but he needs to realise that he hasn't got eyes everywhere, and he needs to be travelling with someone at all times. He needs a fucking bodyguard, right? And he will hate that thought because he can look after himself. But it's not a case of being able to look after yourself. It's a case of there's too many people out there. It's like he's in the Matrix and he doesn't know which person's going to turn into an agent and stick a knife in his back. He is a prime target now, and he's got to realise as well, putting my own sentiments about him, my own feelings about him, and other people's feelings about him to one side and be purely practical, he'd be a devastating loss right now, just on a practical level, for everybody, because he is the glue that holds a lot of things together. On the feelings level and everything else, I worry about him. I think it's crazy that he's only now making a video where he's saying, I can see, I can't travel alone. Tom, you knew that or you should have known that years ago, mate. Look at the amount of times you've been fucking attacked. It's like a circus around you of people trying to get at you. If it's not the police trying to get at you, it's the media trying to get you. They're all trying to set you up and trying to get you all the time. Look at when Panadrama was going on and they were just outside your house in a van. You thought you were paranoid. It ended up being real. I mean, how crazy is that was even true? That was even real. So you can't travel alone. He can't travel alone. So Tommy made a mistake in my view, and that is thinking, if he doesn't like to think of himself as needing protection, he needs to think of himself as a footballer or as an actor or as anybody who is known, and that is they are a target. And he's got to realise that you can't fight everybody, you can't defend yourself against everybody, and this is it's only going to get worse. It's never going to get better. He's always going to be that. Unless he denounced everything he believed in, which was never going to happen, he will always be a top prize now for someone. Even though the public's coming around, there will always be people out there to get him. And he shouldn't be travelling alone. My first thought when I heard about it all was, what was he doing alone? What was he doing alone? And I know that may seem crazy to some of you, but why shouldn't he be alone? He should be allowed to be alone, but it's too dangerous for him. And it's just the way it is. It is just too dangerous. So I hope he learns from this and has someone with him at all times, because unfortunately, he isn't a regular person anymore. This is the price that came with creating a movement. And I don't say that as a slap on or anything to him. Again, I couldn't do what he's done. I say it because I always say we've got to be honest with our leaders and to keep them honest. And because I feel like, as a friend, he should have known this. And definitely, I hope he really means it now when he says that he's learning from it. I hope he has, because that could have been death right there. He didn't know what was coming. We don't even know if that guy was carrying, do we? So and on top of that, they were going to try and do him a GBH and everything else. We still don't know what's going to happen. Don't assume anything. Everyone's assuming it's okay now because they've got the camera footage. Let's just hope that's the case, and that they don't try and turn this whole thing upside down on him, because they'll be looking for that. And that's the other thing. He's just got out of there. He's not in the right frame of mind. He's twitchy anyway. He's bound to be. So it's like, yeah, he shouldn't be alone at the moment. He shouldn't be alone at all anyway, but he especially shouldn't be alone at the moment. And I can understand it. I completely understand it. But at the same time, you can't think like a regular person anymore. You cannot do it because you're not a regular person. And it is the price of having this movement. And it is your movement, Tom. You've proven that. But what happens when you hear and what doesn't happen when you're not? Anyway, that's just my thoughts and opinions on it. Don't get me wrong. Tommy knows and can do a lot more than I ever will be able to. So I'm certainly not slapping him down. I just, when I first heard about it, I imagined him getting fucking stabbed in a stairwell. Do you know what I mean? That's how it could end. So, and it doesn't need to be that way. It just needs to be more aware. Like, Tom, come on, wake up now. I hope this is your wake up. Tom Fury, Tom's Generation X.